Way on down in North Carolina, on the banks of the old Tar River, I walked there from Alabama just to see my dear Aunt Hannah. A coon and a possum got in a fray. They fought all night until the next day. Coon broke away and he cut for the holler. Possum said, I guess I'm gonna follow. They ended up at the top of a hill. Possum went in for the kill. When he got that coon by the tail, it made him wish he was riding that rail. Along come a hunter with his great big dog. Possum cut for the hollow of a log. When the raccoon spied that man, up a tree that raccoon ran. Dogs are sniffing all around. Noticed that raccoon left the ground. He started barking up the tree. The raccoon said, you can't catch me, boy. Song is sung and I must leave you. When I'm gone, don't let it grieve you. First through the window, then through the door. Looking for to steal my old banjo. Hey guys, I just want to talk about this banjo I got recently. I picked it up from a family up in Virginia. I think they're from up around Roanoke, or at least that's where they're living right now. Ron was the owner of this banjo, and it's actually purported, based on the story from his family, and believe me, I believe it. This has been in their family since it was new. Back in the 1850s. These banjos were built from, I believe, around 1850 to, I think the last year of them was 1859. I might be wrong on that. It may be up to like 1862-ish. But there was a patent for this banjo in 1852 by James Ashborn. James Ashborn was probably more famous for his guitars, but he made some great banjos as well. And that right there, I don't know if you can see it, there is our maker's mark. These are actually original tuners. These are the original. I think this one, the gear maybe have been damaged at some point, or that's like a replacement, or that's just what's left of it after being damaged. But these are the original Ashborn tuners. This is how he made them on his guitars, as well as his banjos. And even the peg head, that's how he made them on the guitar. And he made this interesting, this peg head is separate from the neck, and he made an interesting kind of, I'm not sure if it's like a feather joint, or I'm not sure what it's called. I'm not a woodworker. Kyle Van Meter once told me what it was, but I cannot remember what he called it. This banjo's had an accident. It's almost 200, it's 175 years old ish, 175, 165. And at some point there was a pretty gnarly break here, crack. The family said it never went all the way through. I'll believe them, but it was most of the way. It was a pretty gnarly break. almost, I'd say, several pieces, but it was well repaired. Still sounds quite good. The heel is still intact, which is awesome. He had an interesting tension style here. As you can see, it's basically like a shank, I think is what it would be, and it's the screw goes into that, and you would use sort of a square wrench to tighten these hooks, which are actually, the hook is hooked into a bracket, a hooked bracket, so it's a hook and a hook, I guess. I think one of the only unoriginal parts on this banjo, I think there might be two. Yeah, there's two. It looks like a couple of these brackets here got lost, because that one's not original. It's definitely old brass, but it's not original. And this one is not original. The hooks are all original though, which is great. I'm not sure that this is the original head, but it is definitely a very old head. It's got some tears in it. I wasn't sure if I could actually fully, use this head, but I was testing it out when I was first working on this banjo, and it actually holds all right. So, which is great. I'm glad that that's the case. So it's a very old head. It's quite weathered, which is fine. And it still has a good tone to it, which is makes me pretty happy. Now, inside here, you can see the attachments for how Ashborn would send the neck through. It's a dowel. It's a separate piece. He has a wedge right here. I think it's specially cut. It's almost stepped. Or it may not be stepped. It may just be a straight up wedge. I have not taken it out. I haven't needed to. And it's attached into this block here, which is, I'm not sure if that's part of the dowel. I don't know, or I don't know if it is or not. Again, haven't taken this thing all the way apart because it was in pretty decent shape when I got it. And then it comes out to the dowel on the back where you attach your tailpiece, which I have made a new tailpiece for it. I made this today, in fact. And I've tied it on with some tennis racket gut string, which actually I have to thank Clifton Hicks for giving me that string. These are gamut gut strings, which is, similar to what this banjo would have originally been strung with, well over 100, 150 years ago. It's really cool. Just these geared tuners are great. They're quite robust. I'm thinking that the fall may have happened on this side of the banjo. There's some repairs to these pegs, which I'm really glad these were repaired and salvaged, because these original pegs they're like an ebony button, but they're rare. I mean, you can't find replacements for this stuff. But there's a little bit of issue here. But the biggest issue is actually this one. A bit of this gear is a little stripped out. So I have to actually, if I get to that spot on this gear, I have to use rubber jawed pliers and kind of help wrench the thing along and then catch it again and start wrenching. These actual the worm gears on these tuners, they were in great shape, which I'm happy about. I can probably remake or have remade these gears. These tuners are not, but these tuning pegs are not easily remade. I feel like there may have been some damage here. There's a couple very old wood screws holding this thing together, or holding this ring on, which is really cool that you don't have a bunch of shoes sticking out like you do on a normal banjo. It's actually this sort of tension, this ring. It's very similar to, like, anyway, I was gonna say it's kind of similar to tubaphone, but not really, because a tubaphone has shoes. This is just a whole tension ring, kind of like an old K even. But I have to say, Ashborn, for his era, he was, kind of ahead of his time. This was a very robust banjo, and it's got a great tone, as you guys just heard. These strings are still stretching. Like I said, I just strung it up today. I made this bridge for it, just, classic style bridge. To me, it looks like kind of a squatting person with their butt hanging down, but whatever. It's just silly to me. But yeah, 1850s Ashborn banjo. Honestly, thought I'd never have one of these, but it came up, and I spoke with the family. He actually, I believe Ron Lacey. It's the Lacey family. Ron Lacey Jr. gave me this. This is the purported to be sort of the provenance to this banjo and its history in their family. Being originally purchased, as Ron believes, again, I believe him. I'm going based off this, but he believes this was actually bought by his great grandfather. I think it's either great grandfather or great grandfather, Captain John Lacey. Captain John Lacey was in a Virginia regiment during the Civil War. He let me see. He was a captain. In the Civil War, he fought at Chancellorsville and the Wilderness Campaign under General Lee and Stonewall Jackson. And he was there when Jackson got shot in the arm 3 times and had to lose his arm, apparently. I mean, it's a really interesting story. I can't really get much into it here. He actually, it says here that he went to the old Lacey home place back in 1986, which is when I was born, and researched his family's history. The fireplace was the only thing left standing. Pretty cool picture here of that family's homestead, and probably stuff that's in archives. But what's really interesting is that this banjo was passed down through their family, and in the 1930s, J.P. Lacey, John Peyton Lacey Sr., who was a banjo player, had had a hand in creating a dance hall. It was actually J.P. Lacey's dance hall. And because dance halls were becoming popular due to, as it says here, automobiles were starting to facilitate transport, so that you had better, more people had access to a community center and dance halls and the like, and that was a popular thing to do back in the 20s and 30s. And it says here that he played some arrangements, and Lacey was an exceptional banjo player, and he played with a person named Tuss, cousin Tuss Payne. They would stop at the J.P. Lacey's dance hall and garage, and each morning they'd pick up sawmill workers, and they came up with a partnership of a venture. And I think Tuss owned a sawmill, so he provided lumber to create this dance hall, and it was built, I guess, next to Mr. Lacey's garage. And J.P. Lacey was an exceptional banjo player. Tuss was a well-respected fiddle player. And so they would play in this dance hall. I guess they would play with another person, one of Lacey's brothers, or E.J. Cook would play guitar, and they had a band. So they would, perform these dance hall shows, which was, again, really popular back then. So yeah, I thought it was really interesting. It's very cool to have this this sort of legacy that's tied to this instrument. And one of the things I liked reading in here was just how much fighting happened at these dance halls. A lot of people like to fight each other back in the 30s and all the way up into the 60s. But yeah, so this banjo was passed down definitely from Ron's grandfather, John Lacey Sr. So this is a picture. Ron is the one all the way over here to my left. And then this is, I think, John Archibald F. Lacey, who fought in the Civil War. And these are the guys that it got passed down to. I think that's just like a generational photo of the Lacey family there, all the Lacey patriarchs, through the hands through whom this banjo passed. And they decided that they wanted to let it go to me, which was I was happy to have it, and I will keep their family history alive, hopefully, and keep this banjo alive and playing. It plays so very well once these strings are done stretching. See if we can. Nah, that's Cliff's song. I'm gonna play something else here. Anyway, I hope you liked looking, hearing, seeing all this. I'm actually going to try to get this in Cliff's hands and have him do a little presentation on it at some point. And that'd be pretty cool. He obviously he does a lot better presentations than me, but yeah, thanks for checking it out, and y'all keep picking, and you'll see this thing get played a lot more here in the coming weeks, months, years, whatever. Talk to you later.